So you got a 2x2 Rubik's Cube for your grandkid, and now they're expecting that you can solve it. So you've been on the internet, you've seen some videos that are a little confusing. The goal of this video is to help you understand how to solve it, but the focus is on positions, how you hold a cube, what you look at, how you get things ready before you start turning and doing moves. To solve a 2x2 really only requires one somewhat complicated algorithm, set of moves. There are a bunch, but the first part of the cube and solution that we're going to do is really mostly thinking, looking at the cube and trying to understand where pieces have to go and moving them into that position without having to remember anything in particular. So with that in mind, let's talk about the way we're going to refer to the specific cube. So most of the time, I'll be talking about what I'll call the reference cube, and that's the one that's right here. I'm going to call it the front right. So don't worry about top or bottom right now, but this is this cube on the front right, which has a red in the front, a yellow on the right side, and a blue on the top. So that's my front right cube, and I'll call that the reference cube. So it has this, now this cube has the CE on the side, a little label, help you keep it track, and that's the reference cube. So whenever I say start with this cube in this position, it's going to be with a cube that is on the right side on the top. So right side, front, reference cube. Got it? Okay. When I talk about the position of things, towards the end, I'm going to say, I want you to get the yellow on the right side of the reference cube. So that would be over here. If I wanted to put it on the front of the reference cube, if I talk about it that way, this yellow piece is on the front. So this one on the side, just moving it around. This one, when I talk about it, is on the front. So that'll come in later at the end. So we get our reference cube. And to start, I always like to start with the white. And I start with this white, which has a little bit of marking on it as well. And in this case, it doesn't really matter where it is, as long as we just have it on the top. And now we look around and we say, okay, what color is it? It's got a white on the top, but it's got a red on the side. And what we need to do to get started is to get a red with a white right next to it. So let's just look around and see if we can find it. There's a red, it's got a blue, there's a, oh, it didn't take anything. I just turned it and it got right next to it. And that'll probably happen. It's pretty easy to get the first three, actually. Okay, so we've got that one. What's the next one to look for? I see a blue with a white, so I have to find a white piece. So if we look around, can we find the white with the blue on the bottom right? So this is our first chance to think about things. So I see it down here, ignoring this one, not worried about that. I'm only looking for a blue which has a white on it to match blue with a white. Okay, thinking about where this piece needs to go. Right now it's right under where it has to go, and if I just were to move it that way, it would be in the right place. But if I do that, the piece that I like, which is in the right place now, gets knocked out. So what we have to do is what's called an elevator move. What do I mean by that? Remember, we practiced. We said, where do we want this piece to go down here? This is the one with the blue. We want it to go up. But it knocks out a piece that's already on it. So if we look at this moving piece and we call it an elevator, both of the pieces, the piece that we're trying to match and the piece that is our target piece to match, are both on the elevator. So what we have to do, somebody's got to get off the elevator. So let's move this bottom piece off the elevator. So we move it this way. Now, we could have moved it this way. If I moved it that way, it's still on the elevator. Here's my elevator. It both still move. That's no good. So we have to take this piece and move it off the elevator. So we move it this way. Now we have our elevator, and we send the elevator down a floor. Great. We move back onto the elevator. So we got off the elevator, now we get back on just the same way, And now we can go back up, and the two pieces match. So we have the red matches, now we have the blue that match. We have just one more piece to match, and that's this piece on the top, on the right here. So we want to get our setup. So this is our reference piece now. That's a reference piece. What I want you to do is get the white piece that's going to have the orange on it. You see it over there. Underneath the reference piece. So how do you get it under the reference? Just move it to here, and it's under the reference. Right now the white is on the side, which is perfect. The white can be on the right side, it can be on the front or on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, that's a special move. We'll come to that later, but right now it's on the right. So we have three pieces that are good. The piece we want is underneath, and it's underneath where it wants to go. Well, where is it going to go? It's going to wants to go up here like that, so it'll match. Remember, we're trying to match an orange, so this is an orange, so it would match if we did that. What's the problem? Exact same thing we had before. They're both on the elevator. What do? You have to get off the elevator. Here's the elevator moves like this. We say get off the elevator, go away, because if it went the other way, it would still be on the elevator. Does the elevator go up or down? It goes down. Picks up the other one, get back on the elevator, send the elevator up, and now everything matches. Okay, so really all we had to learn was the elevator move, but more importantly, the position. Where does it have to go before you do the moves? Underneath the reference point. Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to reset the cube to get into that special case where the white is not on this side or on that side, it's going to be on the bottom. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so I just shuffled things around, and now we still have the solution as we had before. Blues match, the oranges match, but in this case, this cube is not correct. So we have to find the cube that has some white on it and put it underneath. This is our reference. Let's put it underneath. Well, it turns out there's the white piece. It's already underneath, but it's on the bottom. When it's on the bottom, a standard elevator won't work, because if we go this way, it puts it in the wrong spot. It puts it too far. This one's correct. So if we move it like that, that's not correct. It doesn't match. So that elevator move doesn't work. And if we went the other way, if we were going this direction, the same thing. It doesn't work. It puts it in the wrong spot. So if it's on the bottom, so you've done everything right to get to this point, and the white is on the bottom, you have to do a special maneuver. So instead of turning it once, it's kind of like doing a two elevator move. We move it to where it's not on any elevator. Right now, this could be an elevator. This could be an elevator. Move it. Where do we have to move it to not be on an elevator? We have to move this piece twice, all the way to the back. So now it's on the back corner. And so this move doesn't move it, and this move doesn't move it. Okay, so what we do is we move this one down. So we'll talk about it going clockwise in this case. So we move it down. And we move the piece on the bottom one slot back. That's not going to get it in position right away. We're going to have to do something else. But you'll see, when we move the piece back up, now the piece that was in the back corner is now moved to the front right on the bottom layer. And that's a good place. Now a regular elevator will work. So we'll do that in a second. So let's take a look. What would we have? We'll do it, and then we'll do that whole move over again to be sure. So if this case, what do we have to do to do an elevator? This is a good example. This one, before we were doing elevators that went this way. Now we want this piece to go like that. So again, we move it away. We go down. Get back on the elevator. Send the elevator up. And we've solved the top layer. Okay, so instead of you having to do a rewind and do that again, let's just do it one more time. So it's on the bottom. Everything else is correct. Let's match. So what do we have to do? Again, we turn the bottom layer twice to get it in the far corner. So the far corner away. Now we do a front clockwise move. So turn the elevator, just a normal move to the right. And we move the bottom layer, which hasn't moved, still in the back corner, and we move that once forward. And then we just set it back. So we turned it once to the right, send it back. So all we've done is turned it, moved one, set it back. Where is the white piece now? It's right here, which is an easy move for the elevator. Off the elevator, down, back, and up. Okay, so what did we do? Started with our reference point, we matched colors, and then we got things into the right place. So we're done with that side. Turn it upside down. Now things get a little trickier, and you have to be thinking even more carefully. So what are we doing now? Now we are trying to match colors. So here's my reference cube. And if I look at this reference cube and I ignore yellow, say it out loud with me, what do you see? Red with a green, blue, and an orange. Do those two agree? Red and green, blue and orange? No, they do not. So that's not a match. Let's just look at another corner. Blue with an orange, blue with a red. Do they match? No, that's not a match. We have this one, which is green with a red and orange with a green. Again, we ignore the yellows. Do they match? No. And finally, we have green with an orange and blue with a red. In this case, none of them match, which is okay. But we're looking for one of the four corners that match. Not two, but one. So 0 could be okay, but let's just give it a shot and turn it once and see where we are. Actually, what we're looking for is all four to be matched. But to get started, let's look for only one. So now we look at this one and say, does this match? Let's again do it with me. We see a red with a green with an orange. No match. Now we see an orange with the blue and an orange with the blue. That's a match. Again, ignore the yellows. These two match. Good. So remember that. We have one match. Now we have a blue with a red, the orange with a green. Tedious, but you got to do it. And then red and a green, and a red and a blue. So we do have one match, and that's what we're going for. So let's find it. So there's our match. It's the oranges and the blues. If you don't have one match, you turn the top one more time until you get to one match. At some point you'll get there, 0 or 1. So here we have our one match, which is perfect. Now we have to do an algorithm. So with the reference cube being where the match is, so the reference cube, right, front right, we have to do it. Now, I'm going to talk about rights and lefts and ups and downs. What do I mean? So let's do a couple of practice so you get the idea. When you move the top, I call it to the left, but you could call it clockwise. That's a clockwise move. So moving it once would be moving it to the left. Another move would be the right side going up or down. So in this case, we're going to do an up. So what did I do? Go back to where we were. I did a left, and I did the right side up. Now, this is, you got to get your fingers moving to the right side. We're going to now do the opposite, of halfway opposite. We're going to turn the top, this time to the right or counterclockwise. And the left goes up. Last time the right went up, this time the left goes up. That's half the move. We've got to do it again, but slightly different. Start the same way. Top clockwise to the left. Instead of going up, the right side now goes down. The top goes, this time, counterclockwise to the right. And the left side goes down. Now you'll notice the bottom is still solved. All those moves didn't screw up the bottom. Bottom is still solved. And the reference corner is still correct. Let's look at the other corners though. Say it out loud with me. Red with blue, red with green. That's not a match. Red with green, green with orange. Not a match. green with orange, blue with red, not a match. So all that work and nothing seems to have changed. But magically, when we do that same set of moves again, all is going to be perfect. Let's do it. So we start with the top. So it's the same moves all over again. We had one match, so here we go. Top goes to the left. The right side goes, correct, up. The top goes to the right, and the left side goes up. Top goes back to the left. The right side goes down. Top goes to the right, and the left side goes down. And now, when we look at our corners, just looking at match, don't worry about the bottom. That looks like it's a good, perfect. Oh, we've almost solved it. No, don't worry about that. We're just looking at the corners. Blue with orange matches blue with orange. That never moved. Now we see blue with red, red with blue. That matches. Red with green, that matches, and green with orange matches. So we have all four that match. Now, the yellow is not in the correct place, but we have them aligned, and that's the purpose of this video. Focus on position and alignment. And all the pieces are in the space, in the corners that we want them. They're just not flipped the right way. So now we have to do a set of moves that are easy and repetitive, and I enjoy them because they're the finish to get things complete. So what do we have to do? If you go back to the introduction, I talked about the position of the cube, and we'll start with the CE. So you see it. I'm going to put that in our reference position. So I've got the CE marking, and it's in the reference position, the front top right. I am looking for any cube that has yellow on the right side or on the front side. On the top is solved. I don't have to do anything. Those are good. So I'm looking for one that has a yellow on the right side or the front. So if I move the whole cube around, this one also is good. It's got a yellow on this side and on the front, not on the side. So either on the side or on the front. And I'm only looking at this top right cube. That's the only one. And I don't have to worry about these. Again, they're solved. So with the reference cube in its place and the yellow being correctly positioned, it's on the top right, I'm going to do a sequence of moves. And to help you be sure you don't make a mistake, or if you make a mistake, you'll do it for some other reason, hold it on the top of left, because the only ones that are going to move are this side and the bottom. So the right side and the bottom are going to move. So I'll hold it with my two fingers that way. And the sequence of moves are as follows. Down, the bottom to the left, up, and the bottom to the right. So a real easy one. But nothing happened other than the yellow has moved. So don't worry about it. Just keep doing it until this yellow, the CE, is on the top. So we do it again. Down, left, up. It's in the right place, but don't forget, you still have to do that last right. Remember, it's down, left, up, right. Don't forget the last right. If you forget the last right, you're going to hate yourself. You have to start over. So we've got it in the top position. It is where we want it to be. It is matched, and we just have to solve this last one. So what do we have to do? So everything looks screwed up now. I mean, the bottom is screwed up. The top is sort of half done. Don't worry about it. Just do the following things. So hold the bottom and turn the top until you get a yellow in the reference position. So I just move the top to get it into the reference position. It's facing me. Perfect. Could have been on this side. It's facing me. That's good. What were the moves? I'm going to do them again. Hold it up here. Down, left, up, and right. Don't forget the right. Down, left, up, right. Still no good. Don't worry about it. Down, left, up, right. Still, no, I'm getting closer. Looks like an elevator move might be in order here. Down, left, up, and I'm solved.